Welcome back to Sober Summer 2026. Today we're making episode 3, and this one is taking a very real life kitchen turn. The original idea was a Nettle Peach Cooler, soft, summery, mineral rich, and very much a porch drink, but I don't have peaches. And I didn't go to the store to get one. I'm improvising now because I can't go to the store to get one just because it's on my content calendar. So what I do have is sugared strawberries. So today we're making a sugared strawberry nettle cooler instead. Sometimes the best recipe starts with what do I already have on hand. So today we are using dried nettle leaf, sugared strawberries, the syrup from those strawberries, some ice, and some optional citrus, salt, and sparkling water. It's soft, it's green, it's strawberry sweet, summery, and still very much built around the herb. So let's root in. The main herb today is nettle, and nettle is not a flashy herb in the same way that the hibiscus is flashy. Hibiscus walks into the jar and turns everything red immediately. And nettle is quieter, nettle is green, earthy, mineral rich, and deeply practical. Traditionally, nettle leaf has been used as a nutritive herb, especially when herbalists are thinking about minerals and that deep green plant nourishment category. For this drink, I'm not using nettle to make a dramatic claim. I'm using it because it gives us a green grounding base. It brings that mineral rich plant character and it gives the drink depth, and it keeps it from just being strawberry syrup over ice, which, don't get me wrong, my kids would drink and I would too. But that is the difference between throwing an herb into a drink because it sounds cute and actually building the drink around what the plant brings to the table. So now nettle does taste very, very green. There is no point pretending that it doesn't, and it's no point pretending like it tastes like candy. Depending on your nettle, your steep time, how strong you make the infusion, it can taste grassy, earthy, spinachy, or almost broth-like even, and that's why the fruit works really well with it. I originally was going to do peach because it's soft and round and summery, and peach would still be really beautiful here, but strawberries work too, especially the sugared strawberries. They bring the brightness and the color all their own, and for me, especially, strawberries carry a deeper meaning. In Anishinaabe language and teaching, strawberry is known as the heartberry, ode'imin. And since we just came through the strawberry moon, this felt like the universe's kitchen pivot for me. So this drink is not just I had strawberries and used strawberries, even though that's also very true. It is also a little seasonal nod, a little bit of a heart note, and a little reminder that the ingredients we already have in the kitchen can still carry meaning. So the practical and the sacred do not have to be in separate rooms. So the strawberry syrup is also doing double duty. It sweetens the drink, it carries the strawberry flavor, and it helps soften the nettle's really greener edges. So instead of fighting nettle's flavor, we're pairing it with something that knows how to hold it, which is all we need for our hearts, right? So for this recipe, I'm using about 2 tablespoons of dried nettle leaf and 16 ounces of hot water. You can steep this for about 15 minutes if you want it a little bit lighter and more delicate. You can go closer to 20 or 30 minutes if you want it a really strong green base. Because this is going over ice, I want the infusion to be a little bit strong enough. I want the infusion to be strong enough that it still tastes like something after it's been chilled and diluted and watered down. So I added nettle to the jar, I poured the hot water over it, and I'm going to find a cap for it. Get a cap. Let me just get a cap while I'm talking about it. So covering your infusion is a small thing, but it's a good habit. It helps keep the aromatic parts of the plant and the herb from just floating away into the kitchen while it's steeping. And while that steeps, let's talk about the strawberries some more. These are sugared strawberries. It's literally just chopped up a ton of sugar poured all over them that have been sitting in my fridge for just a few hours. I just did this morning, and the sugar pulls all the syrup out, and the syrup is golden for drinks, and my kids love the strawberries. So it's already flavored, it's already sweet, and it gives you a more interesting sweetener than just plain sugar alone or honey. So for this drink, I am using both the strawberries and some of this syrup. If you do not have sugared strawberries, you can slice fresh strawberries and muddle them with a little bit of sugar or honey or simple syrup, and then let them sit for a few minutes if you have time. Like honestly, even 10 to 15 minutes helps like a ton. It happens really fast. So if you don't have strawberries on hand though, a peach would be absolutely beautiful in this. A raspberry would be really nice and tart and bright. Blueberry would be a little bit softer. Plum would be really good if you want something a little bit darker, a little bit more late summer feeling. The point is that strawberry is not the only fruit that is going to work here. The point is that nettle needs something that can soften out that really green round edge. So now that the nettle has steeped, we're going to strain it. And this is where you can see that this is not going to be a color bomb drink like hibiscus. It's softer, it's green, it's very earthy. It's a little golden depending on the nettle. Mine's a little bit more golden. I don't know if you can tell in the light, but it looks like nettle because it is nettle, and that's okay. Not every herbal drink needs to scream for attention. So some of them just need to taste good and feel grounded. Now, if you have time, you can chill the nettle infusion before building the drink, but here we are. That is the ideal thing to do. But if you're filming, editing, parenting, working, and generally living on the wire, you can also just pour it over the ice and let the ice handle it. Okay, so I filled my glass with ice, and I am going to add the strawberries and some of the syrup. Boop, boop, boop. And then I'm going to pour the nettle on top, and we will stir and taste. And then this is where the recipe becomes yours. If it tastes too green, add a little more strawberry syrup. If it tastes too sweet, add a squeeze of lemon or lime. If it tastes flat, add a tiny pinch of salt. Not enough to make it salty, just enough to wake everything up. Cold drinks can get muted really, really fast, especially when the ice starts melting. So citrus and the salt are optional, but they are useful. Lemon or lime gives a really nice brightness, and salt gives that little bit of lift. The strawberries are very sweet, and the fruit is also very sweet. Nettle is a really solid base, and that's the structure of the drink. If you want it fizzy, top it with some sparkling water. Still water keeps it softer and more grounded. I like to give it to my kids like that. Sparkling water makes it feel really bright and alive and more like a summer porch drink. Here she is. She is beautiful. She is summery. She is green. She is sweet. And she is made with what was already in my kitchen. And that is part of the lesson here. A recipe is a starting point. The actual skill is learning how to adjust it, and what herb do you have? What fruit do you have? What needs brightness? What needs sweetness? What needs softening? What needs a little more structure? That is how you stop just copying herbal recipes and start understanding how to build them for yourself. If you do not have nettle, you can still use this idea. Lemon balm would make it lighter and brighter. Raspberry leaf would keep it more green and like tannic. Oat straw would keep it really soft and mineral adjacent, and spearmint would make it cooler and fresher. Hibiscus would turn it really tart and red and much louder, but those are not identical swaps. They change the drink, and that's okay. Swapping herbs is not just replacing one plant name with another plant name. It changes flavor, feel, preparation, and the cautions. So use what you have, pay attention to what changes. That is good herbalism too. So before we wrap up, let's talk cautions. Nettle leaf is a common herbal tea, but it is still a real plant and it may not be right for everyone. Use caution if you are taking diuretics, blood pressure medication, blood sugar medication, lithium, anticoagulants, especially warfarin or other vitamin K sensitive medications. Nettle may also matter for people with kidney diseases, fluid retention restrictions, or complex medical conditions. If you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or preparing for surgery, heavily medicated, or making this for someone with a medical complexity, check with a qualified clinician first. If you're using fresh nettle, handle it with care properly. Fresh nettle stings before it's cooked, dried, or properly processed, so it will bite back. For this recipe, I used dried nettle leaf because that's what I have on hand in the shop. Also, strawberry can be an allergen for some people, and citrus may bother reflux or mouth irritations if you choose to add it. And always, this is herbal education and a summer drink recipe, not medical advice. Know your herbs, know your body, know your medications. This is so good. That is part of good herbalism too. If you're into herbal drinks with real plants, real flavor, and what you already have in your kitchen, follow along for the rest of Sober Summer Series 2026 until the end of July. Save this one if you want to make it later because nettle and sugar strawberries have no business being this cute together. So gorgeous. So tell me what you want next. This is the Sugared Strawberry Cooler for Sober Summer Series 2026, soft summer in a glass.